First, I want you all to quickly pick up a notebook and a pen to jot down all the important aspects that I'm going to share with you all today. The first thing is that the question paper is wisely prepared according to the 1920 pattern. The syllabus, as all of you know, is 100%. The question paper is based on the 4 themes: prose, poetry, supplementary reading, and grammar and vocabulary. Weightage to the content: prose 30 marks, poetry 30 marks, supplementary reading 7 marks, and grammar and vocabulary 33 marks. So that makes a total of 100 marks. Next, weightage to the type of questions. In the first main, we have MCQs, 6 questions carrying 1 mark each. That's a total of 6 marks. Second main, analogy, 4 questions, each carrying 1 mark. That's a total of 4 marks. Third main, we have very short answers, 11 questions carrying 1 mark each. That's a total of 11 marks. Fourth main, short answers, again 11 questions, each carrying 2 marks, and that's a total of 22 marks. Fifth main, long answers 1, 9 questions, each carrying 3 marks, that is 9 into 3, 27 marks. Fourth main, long answers 2, 5 questions, each carrying 4 marks, that is 5 into 4, 20 marks. Seventh main, long answers 3, 2 questions, each carrying 5 marks, and that's a total of 10 marks. Now let's proceed to the question paper. As you all know, in the first main, we have 6 MCQs. All 6 MCQs are prepared on grammar only. The grammar points you need to pay more attention to are: quickly take down children, verb forms, prepositions, question tags, phrasal verbs, parts of speech, and figures of speech. As I mentioned earlier, these are the grammar points you need to focus on for the MCQs. Next, the second main is analogy. It means you need to study or observe the relationship between the first pair and complete the second pair accordingly. What are the grammar points we've got to concentrate here? Note down: synonyms, antonyms, prefixes, suffixes, homophones, rhyming words, verb into noun forms or verb into adverbial forms, and one-word medical terms. So this one-word medical terms, there are 20 in your textbook. So you need to learn all the 20, and for sure one will come. So it is there in the prose, Louis Pasteur, conqueror of diseases. The third main, again we have grammar, rewrite as directed. They are also called transformation of sentences. For example, they may give you a sentence and ask you to punctuate it. You have to punctuate the sentence using a comma, full stop, exclamatory mark, question mark, apostrophe, inverted commas, also known as quotation marks. Don't forget to use capital letters when needed. Next, types of clause. Name the type of clause of the underlined words. You will be given a sentence with a clause being underlined. You need to identify whether it is a noun clause, an adverb clause, or an adjective clause. Next, conditionals. If clause. If they give you the first conditional, they may ask you to change it to either the second or third conditional. For example, if you go to the market, you will buy vegetables. When you convert this to the third conditional, it becomes: if you had gone to the market, you would have bought vegetables. Do practice conditionals well, children. Let's move on to the fourth main. Answer the following in 1 sentence each. 4 questions will be asked, out of which 2 will be from prose and 2 from poetry. Kindly note, dear students, no question from supplementary reading will be asked. So these are 1 markers. 1 markers, no question from supplementary reading will be asked. So you can concentrate only on prose and poetry for 1 mark questions. Now since these are 1 markers, you need to answer in 1 sentence, 1 complete sentence, or maximum 2 sentences, but never in a word. Please pay attention to this point. Fifth main, answer the following questions in 2 or 3 sentences each. These are 2 markers. So here, 7 questions will be asked. From among the 7 questions, note down 2 questions will be from prose, 3 from poetry, and 2 questions from supplementary reading. I repeat, 2 questions from prose, 3 from poetry, and 2 from supplementary reading. Next, 6th main, rewrite as directed. Again, we have transformation of sentences. 3 questions carrying 2 marks each. The first one, change the following sentence to the other 2 degrees of comparison. If they give you a positive sentence, you have to change it to comparative and superlative degree. First, you need to study the sentence and then change it to the other 2 degrees of comparison. Practice degrees of comparison well, children, and I'm certain you won't go wrong. Next question is transformation into complex and compound sentences. They will give you a sentence and ask you to change it into complex and compound sentences. Again, you will have to practice them well, children. Next, rewrite the sentence using as soon as and no sooner than. Here, you will be given a sentence and you will have to use the words as soon as and no sooner than and form 2 sentences. 7th main, answer the following questions in 5 to 6 sentences each. These are 3 markers. So here, 3 questions will be from prose, 2 from poetry, and 1 from supplementary reading. I repeat, 3 from prose, 2 from poetry, and 1 from supplementary reading. 8th main, explain with reference to the context. 5 into 3, 15 marks. Here, 2 questions will be asked from prose and 3 from poetry. You will not get any sentence from supplementary reading. 9th main, quote from memory. 3 poems, Vachana, Poison Tree, and Lochinvar, as you all know, are for memorization. You can learn Vachana and Poison Tree, children, as they are much more easier, and since there is an internal choice, you will definitely get 1. So you won't lose marks here. But what you need to remember when you're writing poetry is that you need to write the poem's name, the poet's name, and then the poem with all the punctuation marks. Don't miss that. Next is the 10th main. Answer the following questions in 7 to 8 sentences each. So these are the 4 markers. So you have 3 questions being asked, each carrying 4 marks. Number of questions from prose is 2 with an internal choice and 1 question from poetry. Note there will be no question from supplementary reading for 4 marks. This is the pattern given in the model paper, children. Hence, you can practice this way. 11th main, comprehension passage, also known as unseen passage. 4 marks can be easily scored here, children. As you all know, a passage will be given and 2 questions will be asked, each carrying 2 marks. You have to read the passage carefully, understand it well, and answer the questions. You can answer in 2 or 3 sentences and sometimes even more. Be careful, when the answer is in the direct speech, you need to convert it into a reported speech and then write it down. 12th main, essay writing or composition. This is for 5 marks. As you know, essays should have an introduction, a development, and conclusion. The whole essay should not be less than 1 page, children. It can go up to 1.5 or 2 pages, but not less than 1 page. So choose an essay which you know well. 13th main, letter writing. As you all know, you will be given an imaginary name and address. 2 letters, official and personal, will be given. Choose any one and write. Here, you have to follow all the parts of the letter. For official letter, first from address, second to address, third salutation, fourth subject, 5th, body of the letter. 6th, thanking you, and ending with yours faithfully or yours sincerely. Kindly note, children, your letter should be aligned only to the left side of the page. Second, after the sender's address, you must write the date, and remember not to put an apostrophe for yours faithfully. For personal letters, don't write to address, subject, thanking you, and yours faithfully. Instead of yours faithfully, you can write yours lovingly. Now, quickly take down the questions that are most expected. With regard to summaries, they will definitely appear for the 4 marks. Children, 4 marks answers, you will get one summary either from Stolen Boat, Vachana, or Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's letter to his son's teacher. I'd like you to concentrate on a few repeated questions. From supplementary reading, Treasure Island, pay attention to the question. Describe the encounter between Billy and the mysterious seafaring man. Describe the encounter between Billy and the mysterious seafaring man. Second, what did Jim and his mother take? What did Jim and his mother take from Billy's sea chest before they fled the inn? Third question, what arrangement did Square Trelawney and Dr. Livesey make for a voyage for treasure hunt? I repeat, what arrangement did Square Trelawney and Dr. Livesey make for a voyage for treasure hunt? Questions that could be expected from Ulysses and the Cyclops. Quickly take down, children. Why did Ulysses and his men enter the habitation of the Cyclope? Why did Ulysses and his men enter the habitation of the Cyclope? Second question. How strong was the Greek wine? How strong was the Greek wine? Third question. How do the brave Greeks blinden the Cyclope? How do the brave Greeks blinden the Cyclope? And from Karna, concentrate. That's a very important paragraph from the supplementary reading, Karna. And from Abraham Lincoln's letter to his son's teacher, take down this question, children. List all the values the father wants the teacher to teach his son. List all the values the father wants the teacher to teach his son. There are approximately 20 values, children. 20 different values. And that if the same question comes for 3 marks, you can write around 15 values. And if it's for 4 marks, go for it, children. You will definitely get 4 marks for this answer. Reference to context. Pay attention to Mending Wall, Stolen Boat, and CLM. Also concentrate on these questions. What stealthy act does the boy commit? What stealthy act does the boy commit? How does nature disturb the stones on the wall? How does nature disturb the stones on the wall? Quickly take down figures of speech. My legs are pillars. Love swells like the Solway. With trembling oars I turned. She was an elfin pinnace. When the night had veiled the pole, pull the reluctant sun from the rim of the horizon, and, O grave, keep shut, lest I be ashamed. A few tips for the students who are finding it very difficult to score marks in first language English. For the weaker students, you can definitely score marks. I don't think it's going to be very difficult because you have quote from memory. That's a sure short question. Either Vachana or Poison Tree. One of the two will definitely come, children. So you get 4 marks from there. Essay writing, the regular essays about environment, pollution, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, or maybe even about mass media, newspaper. Try to pay attention to all these essays. One of it will definitely come. So you can score marks from there. Then you also have the letter writing. You can practice the letter. It's very easy. Everything is given to you. You only need to write the format and you'll be able to score, if not 5, at least 3 to 4 marks. Then the comprehension passage, I think that is the easiest. The paragraph is given to you. You just have to read it. You can even mark the answer on the paragraph itself, children. So that's another sure shot 4 marks answer. So I don't think you will be able to score very less marks. So don't worry. And coming to reference to context as well. Reference to context, you just read the statement. I'm sure you'll be able to identify the prose and who the author is, or the poetry and who the poet is. So you just write, the above extract is taken from the prose so and so, written by the author's name. Or you can write, the above extract is taken from the poetry so and so, and the poet's name you can mention. So that itself will carry 1 mark. Then you can write who said to whom. In that sentence, who's speaking to whom, and then in what context, why it was told, when it was told. So if you mention that itself, for 3 marks, I'm sure you'll be able to score at least 2 marks. Final tips, children. Learn all the authors' names as well as the poets' names. Go through 1-word meanings from the textbook and even general. So don't be afraid. Be positive. I'm sure you'll be able to, score good marks. Children, take down some important 1 markers. First one, why did the girl of the silent torrent feel sorry for the man? Why is the torrent in the worker's paradise silent? Why is the torrent in the worker's paradise silent? How did the man waste his time on earth? Why did Bhutto go to Dronacharya? What is compared to dirty linen in the poem to a pair of saris cranes? How did the female saris crane try to bring its male partner back to life? Why is the speaker comparing the human body to the temple? Who was Lochinvar? Why did he ride to Netherby Hall? And last one, what is referred to as death's second self? Important 2 markers. Why did the elders of the workers' paradise become anxious? Why did Della decide to sell her hair? What were the most precious possessions of Jim and Della? What does Anne's diary reveal about her father and her mother? What was the condition laid by Indra while granting the boon to Karna? How did the brave Greeks make the Cyclope blind? Why did Ulysses and his men enter the habitation of the Cyclopes? How did Ulysses introduce himself to the Cyclopes at the end of the story? What is the success story of Pepsi and Coca-Cola? 3 markers. What was Pasture's message to young students on the occasion of his 20th birthday celebration? How does Sir C.V. Raman describe the rain-fed tanks? Explain the message brought out by Basavana in the poem, The Temple and the Body. How could the narrator, being blind, describe about Mussoorie? And some important 4 markers. Explain the 5 criteria considered by Gandhi to decide an action as moral. Next, what glimpses of Nazi cruelty did the Frank family experience? Explain. Explain any 3 humorous situations that took place in the village cricket match. How did Anne's diary open the eyes of Germans to the viciousness of racial persecution? And last one, what was troubling the French wine growers and silkworm industry? How did Pasteur solve their problem? So most of the questions, I presume, will be from behind each prose, poetry and supplementary reading. So you can concentrate on the questions that are behind every prose, poetry and supplementary reading, children. Now regarding grammar, with regard to transformation of sentence to complex and compound sentences. Now a compound sentence has 2 independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. Remember, compound sentences have 2 independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. Now there are 7 coordinating conjunctions which you can remember easily with the help of this acronym called FANBOYS. FANBOYS. F stands for FOR, A for and, AND, N for nor, NOR, B for but, BUT, O for or, Y for yet, YET, S for so, SO. So you can use this acronym and it will help you with your transformation of sentences with regard to compound sentence. Next is a complex sentence. Now what is a complex sentence, children? A complex sentence has 1 independent clause and 1 or more than 1 dependent or subordinate clause. Now, both are joined by a subordinating conjunction. Now, there are about 10 most common subordinating conjunctions, for which I have another acronym. Now, this is a fun way to remember these conjunctions. So, you need to use the acronym I saw a wabub. I, SAW, saw a wabub. W-A-B-U-B. Okay. Now, I stands for if, I-F, S for since, S-I-N-C-E, A for as, A-S, W, when, W-H-E-N, A, although, A-L-T-H-O-U-G-H, W, while, W-H-I-L-E, A, after, A-F-T-E-R, B, before, B-E-F-O-R-E, U, until, U-N-T-I-L, and B, because, B-E-C-A-U-S-E. So these acronyms can be used to transform sentences easily, children. All you need to know is, for compound sentences, remember the acronym fanboys, and for complex sentences, the little more complicating acronym. That's the way you can remember it, complex. Another complex acronym, I saw a wabub. Another part where you children might be confused with regard to grammar is with the conditionals, that is if clause in conditionals. Now let me quickly take you through that. Now there are 4 conditionals. First is the zero conditional. So the zero conditional is used for facts such as scientific realities. For example, if you boil water, it evaporates. So that is a scientific reality. So here we make use of the present simple tense, that is boil and evaporates. Both are in the present simple tense. Next, the first conditional. The first conditional is used to refer to a likely future outcome. For example, if the weather is bad, we will cancel the party. So is in simple present and will future simple. The second conditional is used for imagined situations. For example, if I won, I would buy a private island. So here, one is in the past simple. Would buy is would plus verb. Third conditional. The third conditional is used for talking about imagined events in the past. That is unreal. For example, if I'd studied harder, I would have passed the exam. Studied is in past perfect and would have is would plus have plus past participle. So you need to remember that in the first conditional we have this present simple plus will. Remember the word will. In second conditional, past simple plus would. Remember would. And third conditional, past perfect plus would have. So first conditional will, second conditional would, third conditional would have. So I hope this will help you children, and I'm sure if you practice just like maths, you need to practice even your grammar, children. So if you practice, I'm sure you children will do well. So practice your grammar well. That is the main thing here. So you need to practice and practice till you are perfect. So